What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new episode of The Lion's Den. My name is Jack, and today, now that Paladins has kind of risen from the ashes, gone from the dark shadows of the Cards Unbound era, I am ready to get back into the game, and I'm especially ready to get back into content generation around the game. And I thought, what better way to start than to start doing some breakdowns of certain champions, giving you guys my opinions, my thoughts on how good they are. So, we're starting today with personally my favorite champion in the game, Drogoz. Drogoz is by far one of the best damage champions in the game. He has been for a very, very long time. He does AoE and shield busting better than any other character. So he can be honestly invaluable. But at the same time, he has a lot of complexities to how you want to play him effectively, and he can be very easily countered. He's one of my favorite characters to break down in this game because in the right situations, he's unstoppable. But also, a team that knows what they're doing can shut Drogoz down completely. So, let's start by breaking down his kit. Obviously, he has his rocket launcher as his main attack, which can deal 850 damage per shot every 0.85 seconds. And it has a nice sized AoE attack. It's really good against shields. His secondary attack, Fire Spit, allows him to do like the bonus damage combo shot. You shoot the Fire Spit, it explodes, and it can do 1,000 damage in a large AoE to a lot of people. It's a great point stack ability. Obviously, he's a dragon, so he has his jet wings. He can fly up into the air, disengage very well. His other ability, Salvo, will empty the entire clip of his rocket launcher no matter how much ammo is left very fast. Doesn't do as much damage as normal shots, but you can just spray up to 8 rockets in a small area and do a large chunk of damage. His ultimate is by far one of the best and most consistent ultimates in the game because he has one of the fastest ultimate charges if you're doing a lot of damage due to the AoE. And then, unless you really fuck it up, it is a guarantee kill on one character. This is great for tanks, for healers, high priority targets. Dragon Punch, bar none, one of the best ultimates in the game. So already, just by itself, you have an amazing base kit to start off with Drogoz. And his legendary cards, or whatever they're called now, I think there's augments, I don't fucking know. Your legendary cards really do a sufficient job in differentiating the gameplay from Drogoz to Drogoz player, right? So going down the list, you have Fusillade, the classic, like, at one time, best legendary card in the game. Direct shots deal 35% more damage. This means you're going to be doing around a little over 1,000 damage per direct hit with your rockets. And if you can get good at the timing for hitting directs, you're two-shotting pretty much everything that's not a tank. It's ridiculous. Fusillade is amazing. Going down the list, we got Combustible, which makes the Fire Spit knockback even worse, and it deals damage over time as well as the 1,000 damage up front. Combustible, fantastic if you're facing like a point stack team with like 2 tanks and like a Ceres. If they're point stacking, Combustible just destroys people. Reign of Terror admittedly came out during kind of the Cards Unbound era of the game, so I actually don't know much about it or how good it is, but the thought of having an instant fire salvo that always fires all 6 shots and deals 10% more damage does sound really good, I'll give you that. I just haven't personally tried it, so it's hard for me to speak on how good Reign of Terror actually is. And then for his last legendary card, quite possibly my favorite card in the entire game, short of like Exaction Cassie, Wormjets. I love Wormjets. What it does is it increases the flight speed of Booster by 40%, which it helps to negate Drogoz's one big flaw, is that he's incredibly slow, incredibly clunky, and it's hard for him to disengage from fights. What I love about Wormjets is that, set up the proper way, you can make Drogoz an incredibly fast and versatile character that can take advantage of his already strong base kit. I love Wormjets. It's by far one of my favorite cards in the game. So overall, there's nothing bad about Drogoz. All of his cards are really usable. He can have very unique and varied loadouts. He can be good as a point clearer. He can be good as like kind of a support damage dealer, helping to, you know, get assists off for flanks. You know, he can do real big chunks of damage, but he doesn't necessarily have to clean up kills himself. He fits very versatilely into a lot of roles. He can be an amazing spreader of cauterize if there aren't a whole lot of shields. And there's not a whole lot going against him, except when you're not running Wormjet variants, he's very slow. His base speed is fucking pitiful. Thrust may put you high up in the air, but the actual airspeed movement with booster is incredibly slow. So any kind of competent player can pick off a Fusillade, Combustible, or Reign of Terror Drogoz easily if they get the fucking jump on him. He is hands down the worst character in the game in a 2v1 fight, because it's so hard to get consistent damage on one target or both targets, to where you'll do chunks to both people in a 2v1, but you're pretty much gonna lose. It's not like an Androxus or a Maeve or like, you know, other more directed damage characters like Tyra, or even to some extent snipers can do this as well. But the nature of how Drogoz kits work is that he's very good at crowd control, but he can have a lot of struggle with actually getting kills on individual targets. And that's where I think cards like Fusillade have a lot of value, because Fusillade allows you, with the proper skill and investment into playing Drogoz, to be able to help mediate that issue. You know, if a Maeve flanks you, and you're playing any other variant of this character, you're basically dead. But with Fusillade, and with the proper amount of experience and you hit those shots, you can kill Maeve faster than Maeve can kill you. That's for damn sure. So it's interesting how much interplay there can be with how you choose cards and how you approach playing Drogoz in any given match. So we're going to talk a little bit about that now. Where would you pick Drogoz? So I would be picking Drogoz in a situation where if you're playing ranked and you're watching the pick bans, if you see tanks like Torvald, Fernando, or Barrick, or even Ruckus for that matter, you know, these high shield tanks, this is a good situation for Drogoz. If you see two of those, maybe like a Torvald and an Ashe, for damn sure Drogoz, because that's a point stack combo. So you can control points very well as this character, so that's a perfect situation for Combustible, or Fusillade, or any of his cards, just kind of depends. So those are great situations for Drogoz to shine when you're facing tank-heavy point stack lineups. Where I would just stay away from Drogoz is absolutely when you have more mobile compositions. Like you're seeing compositions with like, you know, flank Nandos, aggressive Ruckuses. You see like a Maeve and a Skye, or like a Maeve, a Skye, and a Victor, or a Maeve, a Skye, and a Kinessa or Strix. If you see these characters that can easily counter you from a range, especially hit scan characters, that is not the situation you want to be in as Drogoz. And if you are, that's where I think Wormjets or Fusillade really shines, because it allows you to have a better chance in those 1v1 scenarios against characters that have an inherent advantage against you. Overall, Drogoz is an insanely good, insanely consistent character, and he's always been at the forefront as one of the best damage dealers in the game. As long as there are shields in this game, Drogoz will be at the forefront as the hands down best shield buster. Hands down. I think he has a lot of unique invariants in his loadouts and what you can do with him to augment his play styles. And frankly, he's just fun. I really, you know, before I switched to Paladins, I had played a lot of Team Fortress 2, and, you know, to be fair, a lot of Overwatch as well. And I always did love the soldiers and the Pharahs of these types of games. I love being able to have large burst damage, high mobility, and just that kind of that variance that comes with it. I think there's a lot of skill involved in playing these characters, because you're not using hit scan projectiles. You're not just spamming Victor's gun from a mile away and occasionally throwing a grenade. Everything comes down to your individual play with how you land rockets, and it can be very punishing, but when you go off and you drop 40, 50 elims as Drogoz, it feels fucking good. So, would I recommend Drogoz for new players? Honestly, probably not. He is a character that takes a lot of time investment and can be very punishing to people who don't know how to play him, but I would absolutely recommend it for experienced players who are looking to break into a new shield break role on like point stack teams. Drogoz can be an amazing support damage character, he can be an amazing solo carry, and he can fit a versatile amount of roles. it just takes a lot of execution and a lot of practice. You're not going to be able to pick up Drogoz right away and just instantly be top fragging. That's just not going to happen because there's so much variance with how well you could do depending on your aim and a bunch of other factors. I think he's still hands down an amazing character, but I think you should probably not, he should not be your first choice when you start playing Paladins. That's how I personally feel. Anyways guys, let me know what you think of Drogoz down in the comments down below and over on the Reddit page where this gets posted every time. I'm really curious to see what you guys think and whether or not you want to see more champion breakdowns. Because I want to break down this game to a fucking science. I want to cover Paladins Premier League, I want to cover the esports, I want to cover ranked. I want to cover a lot about this game. So I'm really looking forward to bringing some comprehensive videos for you guys in the near future. You can follow us on the social media and the links provided in the description to keep up to date with what's going on. You can also subscribe and like the video, which helps out immensely. Other than that guys, my name is Jack, thank you guys for watching, and we will see you in the next video.